All right, welcome back to the latest installment of the No Motion Belly series. All right, we've got a smaller board than what we've had. All right, so I don't have as many notes up. All right, but obviously we've got the plays. I guess we would call this like a special installment because we're doing two plays at once. All right, we're doing two plays at once. Normally, I get up here, we talk about one play versus one defense. That's part of the premise, all right, of these videos. So just to kind of back up about the videos, again, these are for youth in high school football programs to build a one unit, one team, one terminology system from the ground up, all right? Before I continue, I'm going to make sure that the camera's on. We don't want to waste. All right, we're good. So that's what we're doing here. All right. You're building a system that can start as early as the 6th grade. You can introduce other aspects of the offense when you've got backs in the backfield. We're talking about the straight T formation. All right, and then deviating outwards from there. All right, but this specific formation, all right, we're in basically a spread set. It's 2 by 2. All right, it's a one back offense, just as it is right now. But at the same time, it's really a 4 back offense. All right, obviously including the quarterback, which we always like to have the little Q. All right, whatever. But so that's what we're doing. So this is meant for youth programs. So just a quick review, all right? A quick review of what we're doing here. So this is our power side. This is our speed side. These players are your more powerful players. These are your faster players, all right? We're assuming that we've got a right-handed quarterback, all right? So the power side should always be on the back side of the quarterback's throwing arm. The speed side, obviously, to the side of the quarterback's throwing arm. Your tight end in your split end, or your X and your Y, all right, for just labeling the players. All right, this is your left halfback, your right halfback, all right. And you could call him your running back, your fullback, your tailback, doesn't matter, all right. I would just say running back. If you get him thinking he's the fullback, that's like he's the blocker, right? Just think about when you're watching TV. I think you have to go back to, you're thinking fullback, that's a blocker first. But in this offense, he's our number one play. All right, belly ISO, or let's say power side belly ISO, all right, or power side ISO. I know that may sound, because the power play, but all right, power side ISO is our number one play. That's the number one play. So he's really your typical or prototypical fullback. All right. Sometimes he'll be here. He could be here with the running back in the I formation. You could back him up. That's why, you don't necessarily call him the tailback, because that insinuates you're in the I formation. All right. So he's your running back. These are your halfbacks. All right. If you want to use letters, he should definitely be your Z in terms of, the typical, XYZ terminology that most people use. All right. And then to letter up him, I would call him the H. All right. This is where, again, preference, whether you call him an 8 or, whether you call him a T or your R or your F, doesn't really matter. All right. So whatever, R, T, I would just call him the R for running back. All right. But if you're calling him the fullback, then he's the F. If you're calling him the tailback, it's the T. All right. he would be the H. You know, you could go A and B. Okay, it's another kind of way to do it. A and B, kind of, you know, these are your two backs, right? I'm kind of just winging it, honestly, in terms of what to call your people, in terms of especially these two. But I would definitely call him the Z, because when you do start to get to a true 11 personnel set and he's splitting out, he's the first guy that's going to be going out into space. All right, your Z, and he would be, you know, that's why I would call him an H. All right, the typical H back. All right, you know, he's partly a fullback, partly a tight end. All right, he's still a halfback. All right, whatever. Okay, so that's just kind of that stuff there. Obviously, in terms of the lineman, the left side, you know, he's your best guy. All right, he's your stronger guard. This is your fastest guard right here. This is your fastest of all your linemen. That should be your fastest lineman, unless he's just that good. All right, where, you know, he's just faster, and it is what it is. All right, but, you know, your most dominating blocker here. Again, the more you understand what they're doing, you understand exactly what you're going to be asking this player to do. All right, a lot of down blocks. All right, he'll be playing inside more than he'll be playing outside. All right, you know, he'll be pulling a lot with a lot of speed. All right, he'll be pulling with more power. All right, but still with speed. All right. So, that's enough kind of overview of the offense in terms of who's where and personnel. All right. So I figured we would do both plays at once. All right. Again, I'm just reiterating what I already said. Usually I do one play. Let's do both. All right. Let's kind of show, you know, the punch counter punch of what really happens. All right. And how, you know, just kind of keying on one guy will tell you, all right, when you should run the play, or just kind of give you pointers. All right, so the ball is well, let's assume it's either in the middle of the field. All right, we got the uprights and the goalposts right here. We've got the hashes, we got the numbers. When you're teaching the play, when you're drawing the play up, when you're talking about the play, if you don't talk about the hashes and the numbers, you're not really, you know, I don't know. It's like eating food without salt and pepper. It's worse than that, all right? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because there's no premise of the play. I mean, you need to know where the sideline is. You need to know where the numbers are. You need to have some markers. You know, the whole idea is we're trying to outrun the defense sideways, you know, but the field's only only has a certain width. So we've got basically, you know, you could call them almost like, it's like a warning track. All right, the numbers are the warning track of this play, and we're trying to, you know, we're not trying to hit a home run because we want the ball to stay, you know, in the field of play, whatever it is. You know, baseball probably not the best analogy there, but the point is there's a warning track there. All right, we can't hit the wall. All right, so I guess maybe I don't know, whatever. We're an outfielder, and we're trying to catch a deep ball, but we can't go out. We can't hit the wall. You know, but we want to be right. Let's just call the edge of the board is the sideline. All right. So there are the numbers. There are the hashes. So let's say the ball is, you know, somewhere to the right. All right, of the upright. All right, or the goalpost. All right, goalpost, uprights. All right. So in the middle is the goalpost. Depending on where you are, you could have two goalposts, but that's the middle of the field exactly. It's to the right of that. It's not on the right hash. All right. So, you know, is this play better on the hash? That's up to you. You got to manipulate, you know, where you want to run it. I think you should be able to run it into the boundary every now and then. At least 1 out of 10 times that you run it, you should actually run it into the boundary. All right, maybe 2 out of 10, just to be able to do it, and just to be able to, now you're, you know, it just helps balance the whole thing out. You can't only run it to the wide side of the field. All right. So, all right, let's go. So the ISO play. All right, we're gonna color code stuff now. I think that's a little easier to look at it when you color code. All right. So let's put the left tackle in purple. All right, and he's gonna be down. He's looking for the first down lineman inside. All right. If he sees a one technique, he pretty much knows he's gonna be climbing to the next level. All right. If it's a one technique, he'll still step down with his eyes inside because the one could slant out to a two eye. All right, but now he should see this is a two eye. Obviously, we can talk here. All right, your guard can tell him what it is, whatever words you want to use. All right, have some system for the guard to tell the tackles, people talking, what shade they have. All right, so he pretty much knows he's going to own the two eye, and he'll be down. All right, he's working with the center. All right, the center will step sideways. All right, and he'll just play through the inside shoulder of the nose, but he wants to keep running. All right, and that's probably a little too wide, but that's about what it's going to look like. All right, let's just draw his angle first. He's headed this way, and he's headed for that robber player. All right, just to back up, we're looking at a 4-4 defense, right? Our shades that we're going to be looking at are going to be most likely a 2-eye with a tight 3 technique, a 6-eye here, all right, a 5 technique here, all right. Usually the 2 force defenders are going to be up as close as they want to be, maybe 2x2, depends on the team, maybe they got him a little wider. All right, if we're good at throwing out here, especially if we can get anything thrown up here and then we're backing the corner off, now they got to widen out their force defender. All right, whatever, it doesn't matter. It matters, of course it matters, but for this play, it doesn't matter. We're going to take care of him regardless. But he could be, obviously, in a few different areas or locations, depending on what's going on. All right, but at the end of the day, he could be right on the line. It could be a 6-2. All right, so in reality, when you're looking at it versus 4-4, obviously you got to look at it versus 6-2, because if they come up and they blitz, now it's a 6-2. All right, so what are you going to do if it's a 6-2? All right, so obviously that goes kind of without saying. It's within the family. All right, 6-2, 4-4. All right, so the center's going to try to reach the play side A gap. All right, we're not going to have the center reach a 2-eye. We can have him reach a 1 technique, but not a 2-eye. All right, and then he's going to be going for that stacked defender. All right. Now on the backside, we would be on these angles here. We're basically building a fast wall on the backside. How many guys we got there? Right. It would basically look like this. All speed. We're going sideways, almost backwards first, and we're ripping with our backside. All right. That would be their natural paths. All right. And what would happen here is we would get, the backside guard on the mic, backside tackle would cut off the 3 technique, and the tight end would cut off the 6-eye, and everyone would be reached. All right, or cut off. But as a base rule, rather than always making it a zone scheme, all right, rather than always making it a zone scheme, we man it up, and the uncovered guy pulls. All right. It's just, the whole concept is speed. This is the speed side. So let's just go. Let's not mess around with me, you, because obviously these two here would be working together and all that. But if you just man it up, all right. So trying to talk through the rules, but basically if your backside is covered. So just in terms of how would we call this out, right? How would we know, you know, it's really per defense, and that's another reason why being in a 2x2, when you're lined up like this, it really makes the defense line up in a vanilla base defense, and they're showing what they're in. They're in a 4-2, they're in a 4-1 or a 6-1 or a 4-3, whatever you want to call it. Or they're in a 5-2 or a 3-4, all right, or a 3-2, all right. You can see it, so you can see that this is a 4-2, all right. So these guys know on the backside it's these three for these three, all right. So we can man this one up, and then we can just on the snap, that backside tackle can skip, pull. Some people call it a sickle pull because the shape of his path is in a sickle. I like skip pull because it tells him he's going to skip his right leg, right? So even when you draw this, I would draw this with, and it's not bad to get this specific, but put the writing utensil, whatever you're writing with, on the side of the leg that's coming out. All right, you can do that with the quarterback too. It's the same idea. All right, if you want him out, you know, if you want the quarterback to go like this and keep his left leg in the ground on the snap, draw it like that, right? You know, you could, if you want to get crazy, you could even go like that to remind him to pivot off the right foot. All right, but it's the same idea. So we're right here. All right, it's gonna be a different color, whatever. You know, he's going this way. That's his initial movement, is to go sideways. All right, and his eyes are on that next defender, on the, you know, the A-gap defender who he's trying to cut off the linebacker on the next level. All right. So obviously, if we get something like this, all right, the backside is really, you know, it's a whole nother conversation just to kind of even sort out the rules. You know, when you teach the play, you really just teach it as, you know, and all the different backside rules and all the different play side rules. All right, I know I'm not saying anything revolutionary here, but again, the you know, the whole point is, you know, rules on the backside, rule on the play side it's not necessarily going to be the same system of rules. All right, play side rules, backside rules. All right, and then obviously backside tight end. Okay, that's a pretty easy block to make, to dig out a 6-eye. All right, again, you know, I probably should do a video where I just talk about the backside. Right, I try not to get into too much detail back here, but obviously, as you know, it's just as important as the play side rules, because you take plays off, or people on the backside don't think they're as important, and that's when you got tackles fall off, things like that. All right, so not to try to discredit this backside block, but you know, these are two of the easier blocks are going to be your man-to-man guys on the backside. All right, they either already have leverage, like the guard, or they don't have a lot of leverage, or they don't have much leverage to steal. All right, it's not like he's trying to cut off a 5 technique. We're never going to put people in a position, all right, unless you've got some sort of tight blitz where everyone's up on the line and they've got shades on shades. All right, and, you know, at that point, yes, maybe he'll have to cut off a 5 technique. That's the worst case, but other than that, all right. And that may not even be the case. We would prefer that the tackle block back and the tight end just pull. All right. So you're going to create the rules so that the guy that either has a head up shade or a backside shade or a shade inside, all right, is going to cut that guy off, and the next guy on the backside is going to pull. All right. So for the tackle here, he doesn't have a 4-eye. He has a 3 technique. So that's 2 shades inside of him. We're not going to ask him to cut him off. We wouldn't ask the tight end to cut off a 5 technique. All right. We wouldn't ask the backside guard to cut off a 1 technique or a 0. All right. He would just pull, and the center would block back. All right. Versus a backside 1. all right, or 0. The center would own that, backside guard would pull. The tackle would own, the 4-eye or the 4, and the tight end would pull. All right. I didn't mean to get off on a huge tangent on the backside, but that's what you need to do, and this is part of what I say organizationally. You need to write all this down and reorganize it in your own terms. All right. I'm not giving you a playbook. We're talking through this. I think you'd be able to write some notes down, refer back, get it all organized. All right, so that's the back side. All right, I didn't really color code the back side, I guess, but I think we're good there. All right, now the back side back is sprinting through the heels of the running back, all right, on the sweep path. All right, and just to get ahead of ourselves here, where he's headed to the line of scrimmage, which is, let's call it right there. He's headed to the line of scrimmage right where the numbers are. All right. So right where the numbers, let's just call it the middle of the numbers. Right where the middle of the numbers and the line of scrimmage intersect. So let's just say the X is on the numbers. Let's say he's right on the numbers. Okay. Obviously you've got these two imaginary lines that are not on the field. All right. They're going to be 7 yards in. That's going to be the bottom of the numbers. Okay. So whatever. Okay. That's the first number. That's the second number is here. All right. If this was a 2 and a 0, let's just write it. Let's just write the 2 and the 0. Okay. To the bottom of the numbers is 7 yards. To the top is 9. So everybody needs to know that the bottom of the numbers in American high school football anyway, all right, and in college fields are 7 and 9. So the middle is 8. So if we put a bullseye right on the middle, all right, of those numbers, right at the line of scrimmage, okay, so pre-snap, I'm the right halfback. I can already see, I know where the ball is. I can see, the ball is on the 37-yard line, whatever it is. He's going to look to the other side of the field, wherever he is. He's going to find that bullseye that's on the line of scrimmage, 8 yards in from the sideline. And he's also going to find the spot that he's running through, which is the heels of the running back. And he's going to say, okay, as soon as that ball snapped, I'm full speed that way. Okay. I'm going to run exactly sideways or parallel to the line of scrimmage is exactly sideways. Okay. All the way to a point. There's some math here or geometry. It's a grid. That's why it's a gridiron. Okay. So to the outside foot of the tackle, parallel to that spot where the heels of the running back are on the snap because he's not going to be there anymore. But the spot will still be there. Okay. So there's one dot, there's another dot, and then there's the third dot. There's probably some equation in here as to how, right, there's a rounding angle, a rounding path, a rounded path, like the path of a track, like a track. Okay, so I would always say, I would practice this play on a track, this whole series. I mean, with the sweep, all right, and then the naked, all right, coming back. Colors. I'm running out here. All right, so the quarterback. Let's look at the path let's stop right there. I was doing the backside. All right. So the halfback on the backside, his path is huge. He can't just run his fake and just run. He has to run to that spot. In his mind, that's where he's headed. All right. Obviously, if he's actually getting the ball, once he clears this spot, now he actually is going to be doing some thinking those next few steps as to, where he's headed from there. All right. But on this play, that's what he's doing. All right. Obviously, at some point, if he sees that the play is, or there's a fumble or something happens, he's going to get involved accordingly. But, all right, whatever. General path for the backside, halfback. So backside, we're good. Play side, here we go. So, for the guard, what do we want the guard to be in? Put him in blue. All right. He's going to step back. Okay. So now his right foot's going to stay in the ground. So I would draw this like this, because his left foot's going for one step. It's one step, and then he's basically going vertical right back into the gap. So the point of attack is the outside leg of the guard here. Okay. So he's actually going to he's going to plow that track. That's where he's going to go. He's going to go right back, and he's going to be headed that way. Okay, so he's going to step, and he's just going to go, and it's obviously we're assuming we're going to get a squeeze from this 5 technique, all right, and at some point he's going to be on that angle there. It really depends on the reaction of what I would call the C-gap defender or the 5 technique. I wouldn't call him the end. Okay, the 5 technique. As you talk more and you see more, of course, you call him the end. All right, but early on, all right, you got to talk about the shades, especially a 1, a 2-eye, a 3. Don't call him the tackle or the nose, because a nose could be a 0, a 1, or a 2-eye, or a 2. All right, same thing. An end could be a 5, a 7 technique, a 5 technique. All right, an end could be in the 3-3 up here. All right, so just the 5 technique, kick out the 5 technique, kick out the 5 technique. All right, when you say 5 technique, by nature you're saying the C-gap defender. So that's a lot of syllables. The C-gap defender, that's 6 syllables, way too many, right? The 5 technique, 4 syllables, way better. The 5 technique, okay? Kicking out the 5. Kicking out, you don't have to say technique. The 5 alone is good. The 1, reach the 1, reach the 3. You're saying the technique, okay? So that's who the guard is usually going to be doing a lot of contact with. 4 techniques and 5 techniques. That's what he should be thinking. The first thing he should be thinking is a 4 technique, then a 5. Not a 3, because we're getting a down block from the tackle on a 3. So the guard, he's thinking the first thing past the 3 technique. Okay, if there happen to be a 3 technique and a 4-eye, well, now he's kicking out the 4-eye. It must be some sort of blitz. Someone's got to be up in a gap. You got 2 guys in the same gap. It's probably, all right, whatever. But he's going to step back, and he's going to, if it was a 4-eye, he would be thinking about driving that guy back. And really, that's his first thought, is to drive back. I think one of the epiphanies I had about this play that I never had heard, all right? So definitely giving a lot of credit to a lot of people on this, but I've never heard this, okay? The guard's first deal is to go that way, all right? And actually, I do need to give some credit to a coach his name is John Gendron, who was an offensive line coach at the University of Rhode Island in 2007, and they ran the belly down play. I'm sure they ran the belly ISO, but they ran the belly down as an old flex bone option offense. So Coach Gendron was the offensive line coach, and he always used to talk about when a 7 technique, which what he called a 9 technique, what most people call a 9 technique, but a 7 technique outside shade of the tight end, squeezes down with the tight end on the belly down, that the guard is not trying to kick him out, and he's not trying to log him either. He's trying to take him and go straight vertical down the field. Okay, it becomes a vertical drive block. We're not going to log a squeezing 5 technique or 7 technique. Okay, that's not the type of block we're doing here. This is a power block. Okay, when you log someone, you're kind of giving up. It's kind of not even a stalemate. All right, you're giving someone half of the area of attack. All right, we're not giving them anything. All right, so we're either gonna kick them out, okay, if that's the natural path. So even if he squeezed just that much, okay, we're gonna kick him out. That's his next reaction. All right, but if he's like on the snap, literally going this way, now, and you don't have a choice. So now you don't have the angle to even kick him out. Okay, now you don't even have the angle to kick him out. Where I'm not just gonna turn my side and log him. All right, we're gonna now take that player and drive him straight back. All right, so if I would teach it, this the first thing I would teach is what to do with the 4 technique, because that's what this guy basically becomes, is the 4 technique. He's right at the point of attack. So point of attack. Let's look at that for a second. Okay, because the guard needs to know that it's really right down his back. It's coming right down his midline. All right, we're gonna get our lateral step here from the running back. A lateral step. All right, and then he's aiming for the outside. All right, his midline, the running back's midline, should be aiming for the outside leg of where the guard was when the ball snapped. All right, and then again, it's a rounded path. All right, so that's the first point. There is his first step. Everything from there should be on a rounded path as fast as possible. So when he gets to that spot, he's running basically 90 degrees. Okay, I would think about this as an off-guard play. So his natural path, although it's vertical, if the defense, is any good, and they don't just let you run straight down the B, the B's not the B gap, it's the inside, innermost part of the B gap, all right, which is right here. If they just didn't do anything, that's literally the path we would take. All right, so the guard, knowing that, again, he's going to just take him vertical. He's going to take him vertical. The running back, his path, or the ball carrier's path, the running back in this play, in this instance, he's using a staircase technique. So anything he encounters, he's running for anything he encounters, he's going to stop in a dime, go exactly lateral, and get vertical again as soon as possible. So this guy's covered up. This end is covered up. All right. He wanted to squeeze the block. Now he's got a guard right in his face. All right, and he's both of his arms are probably engaged in the guard. If he tries to reach, he's going to get driven back even more. All right. Obviously, the guard at this point should know that we're going to get a horizontal bounce. So I know I said don't log it, but at the end of the day, once he engages with this guy, he knows he's not kicking him out anymore. He's either going to push him vertical or he's going to cover his outside up and drive him, that way. Okay? Because we'll get the staircase by the back, and then the back will just continue on. Okay? So that's versus a 4 or a 5 technique. And then again, obviously, if the 5 technique is more on an angle where maybe he takes one step up the field, then he squeezes. Well, from there, we would just obviously kick him out. Okay? And then the whole staircase deal doesn't happen until the actual ISO block. Okay, so that's one. The tackle is one. I would teach this as it's a sequence. It's like 1, 2. All right, and then this is 3. All right, so 3. It looks like a mess, but all this isn't going to be here. Only one of these scenarios will be in front of them. So let's just say it was this one. We'll take the back off because he's not even there yet. Okay, we'll keep the generic path there, but he hasn't made those cuts yet. He's still back here. Ball snapped. Left halfback, he's looking inside. He's really looking for the guard. The tackle's gone. He's out of there. Okay. You know, this would be nice where if you had like some like moving pieces, some magnets, whatever. I don't have them right now, but you get the point. So you can see this thing's going to collapse down. Then the guard's going to do whatever he's going to do. All right. So there's really some if-then statements for the halfback. If he gets this look here, where we get a tight squeeze and a vertical drive by the guard, he's going to be behind the guard, okay? Because his natural thing is, let's say the guard did kicked out, his natural thing, he wants to run down the point of attack, all right? And he wants to get here on that B-gap defender, all right, on that's second level guy. I'll be honest with you, all the rules, again, you know, there's a lot of ways it could shake out. Because you say, you know, you'd say B-gap defender, and then, hey, maybe on the snap they're on a movement, all right, and that's not the B-gap defender anymore. But I'm talking pre-snap, all right. So again, he's down. All right, guard now. If the guard's vertical, he would basically run the staircase for the running back, where he would, you know, almost combo this and then be here. We already know we're getting the staircase. All right, and first of all, if they're squeezing that hard, they probably have some sort of scrape, all right, principle going on, where that linebacker now is now going to exchange and become, you know, like the C-gap defender. I got a lot of markers here. All right, so, you know, let's say we get that. Maybe it's good to draw the defender in the same color so we can see who we're working with. All right. Yeah, I like that idea, actually. So he'd kind of be here now. All right, and once we get that, we're good. We're just going to kind of kick him out because we know where the point of attack is. Obviously, if we got that look there, where running back would be, now he'd make his staircase principle cut off the first block. All right, it'd be a slight outside, and then we would just kind of stay on this track here. And then it happens again on the third level with the center and that stacked defender in the one high defenses. So it's however this shakes out, we want to, you know, favor this side, but at that point, whatever, we're just becoming football players at that point. We know where the block is, okay, and we either go on one side or the other. It's 2-on-1. Figure it out, all right? You know, the backside corner is the touchdown saving defender. That's why we don't want to go back inside. So, you know, I even say, you know, figure it out, but it's like, unless this thing's really being played outside, stay outside. Why cut back to the right? You own the ball in the right arm. Now you got a guy coming, and you're gonna get a tomahawk chop from the other side. We can't block that guy. We don't have anyone to block him. All right, so, you know, we could do some crazy thing where we send him over here. We know the thing's cutting to the right. But don't even do that. Forget I just said that. You can't block him. You gotta run away from him. You gotta run away from this guy. All right. So he's owned by the running back. That's who we're trying to run away from. So, you know, we're blocking out here. All right. Obviously, that's his guy. That's a high endurance. A lot of footwork. A lot of hands inside. A lot of not getting call for holding, but that's what we're going on. You know, that block could last a while. You know, we're trying to outrun him. So that's the ISO action here, where he'll pretty much predetermine or pre-staircase himself. It really starts with, you know, block of that guard there, and then whatever happens there. So let's say we get a 5 technique up the field. Okay, now the 5 technique is more up the field. You know, and then he's on some sort of inside charge. Now he's gonna, you know, we can let him run around us. We can lose on this side. We don't want to. All right, but you know, the whole idea is you can't let him make the play right there. If we're gonna let him lose like that, it's got to be like late. You can lose late. You can't lose early, really anywhere. All right, on the point of attack. These two guys here. All right. So let's say we get the kick out. We're good there. So then again, you know, the path doesn't really change. The way he's kind of wiggling through there and figured it out is a little different, but he's on the same path. All right. Now he's really gonna fly, and he's gonna get speed. You know, and this may happen more like that. All right, but that's what we want to happen. We want to put our. That's my printer. That's all right. I'm not rewinding this. Maybe I'll cut that out, but probably not. I don't really care. All right, it'll be fine. So we get that. All right, that's what it should sound like. So we got the ISO block in there, you know, and that's it. It's the same deal. It's like, all right, we're running it. We're here. If we get a hard, you know, downhill, he's point of attack. So now it becomes a same idea. We're going to get him vertical, and then, you know, we're not going to, you know, once we know that he's attacking that point of attack, and he's inside of us, basically he's trying to spill it. He's insisting on spilling it. We're not going to let him spill it, meaning we're just going to automatically log him. We're going to still try to square him up, but at some point, you got to let him have his way, and you got to, you know, it's the same exact thing the guard would do on the 4 technique. You know, get him vertical first, but at the end of the day, you know, let's call it a power log. All right, it's a power log. It's not just a straight log block. All right, vertical log late. All right, because we know we're getting this. All right, staircase from the back, and obviously it's as he, you know, gets further and further. You know, his sideways movement could be more like this. It doesn't have to be like that anymore. But when he's up in the box, so let's say within the first 3 to once he clears 3 yards, 4 yards, 3.5, whatever. Especially, you know, the tighter he is the line of scrimmage, the more horizontal his cut should be. Like, not on a negative angle, but almost like the old Barry Sanders on a negative end, and then get vertical, and then, you know, and then he's like that. Obviously, this being over here. Okay, all that should have been, you know, here. And it may only be 1 cut, but it could be 4. Okay, you know, it's just, you know, endless scenarios in here. But the bottom line is, if they just sit there, we're running like that to the end zone straight. Okay, if something happens, staircase principle, drill the shit out of it. All right. There is one scenario where he'd kind of be back inside. It'd be like if you reverse a 5-2 or a 3-4, and they're just everyone's outside the end, the tackle, the will. All right. And then, but at the end of the day, we really just still be that. All right. Again, backside, we're good there. All right, play side, and obviously the rover, the force defender, is being widened with the sweep I was gonna say the sweep defender, the sweep guy, right? Our sweep threat. Okay, their force defender is being occupied or widened by the sweep threat. That's why the threat has to be legit. It has to be legit. It has to be your fastest player. Said it before. All right. You know, if he's tired, get the next fastest player there. Get the younger fastest player, whoever. That's guy when obviously when the ISO is being run, he can't be one step slower than when the sweep plane is run because that's how we're blocking him. We're blocking him with speed from the backside. All right. So let's look at the sweep play. All right. Let's look at the sweep play. Let's just kind of erase all this, and we'll leave that. We'll leave that. I'll just get rid of all this. That's more than I would have liked to erase, but let's see if we can build that up again. All right, so yeah, that's tough. Let's go this way with it. All right, good. We did it. So we're good there. Let's get the defense back up. All right. All right, so they're in their balanced defense. And obviously we're picking on the force defender. Okay, let's see. So the blocks, it should look the same. That's the whole idea. Everything should look exactly the same. All right. I do like running this play when the left halfback is in the far position because it really looks like ISO. It looks like ISO. So, you know, the next, like if you for some reason, whatever, that's the next set you want to be in, right there. All right. But that's another story, another conversation, whatever. So we're here. We're running the whole series out of this exact set. Okay. We're on the snap. Everything looks the same for a lot of different plays. The sweep play, here we go. So left tackle, he's still going to be inside. All right, again, it should look the same. We know we're getting pullers now. Okay, so let's just look at the pullers real quick. Our play side guard, who now is definitely logging the 5 technique or the C-gap defender. All right. Okay, the halfback will be first. You know, he'll be kind of, because we know we're trying to get this. Okay, so again, depending on what we get, like if the end squeezes, we would just go ahead and log it. Now it would be kind of an easy, you know, and we'd just be right here. But if the end is up the field, let's say he's up the field, now we can kind of help a little bit. All right, we can help. So let's say the end's up the field. You know, it's almost like it's kind of like almost like a pick, like a pick in basketball maybe, or just something that it's a chip. It's real simple. It's a chip. All right, it's an outside chip. Bypass him. All right, and then now we're gonna log right there. All right. Log right there. Obviously, the tackle's got an easy block. All right. On the 2-eye. All right, he's just down. All right, that's an easy block. The backside guard. All right, the backside guard. He really wants to get to a spot. All right, on the line of scrimmage. All right, on the line of scrimmage. This is where, you know, knowing where you are in the field. So the backside guard should also know. We talked about the backside halfback knowing that point of attack. Well, he should have his own point of attack. All right. And that's, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't have his exact spot on my mind right now, but I know I made another video on this. I'm gonna call it the outside of the hash, or the hash. So no matter what, he knows he's got to get outside the hash. If the force defender is already outside the hash, then he's got to get outside the force defender. I'm assuming, let's say the ball was on the right hash and the force defender was inside the hash. He still wants to be outside the hash. You know, even if you say, okay, let's start the guard off at the exact point of attack. So he's also running there, all right? Because he, you know, in reality, if the force defender on the snap just went like that and ran to the point of attack, well, he's got to get there too, and he's got to go meet him. It may turn into a kickout block, but we got him running so far sideways that now obviously the back is going to turn it up inside and then get back outside the numbers, all right? Probably not going to get that, all right? Probably going to get something more like he's either going to be up the field or folding inside, but let's just say worst case, he's like up the field. If he's folding inside, great. You know, now we just kind of hang out for him. We just wait for him to figure it out and run out to us. All right, we're not going to go, you know, run inside. So there's an area where he shouldn't even bother. Okay, he's sprinting this way. All right. And he's looking to get his backside shoulder to the defender's play side shoulder. So he's looking to get his backside shoulder to the defender's play side shoulder. If there's a way you can draw that, whatever, right? But he needs to know that, again, backside shoulder, defender's play side shoulder. We could get into all kinds of stuff about cutting, all right, depending on your state, where it's allowed, if it's allowed. But you've got some open space here. Remember, this is your fastest lineman. Okay, this could be one of their better defenders. We got to get this guy blocked on his outside. All right, if that means we got to take our right shoulder and go through his outside leg, again, if it's allowed in your state, all right, and it works for you, and you have the angle, all right. Again, there's a lot of drilling going on here. You know, just drilling this whole thing. We've got the blocker, the runner, the defender. Okay, it's 2-on-1. You've got only so much field space. You do have the 1-on-1 with the X in the corner, so really it's 3-on-2. All right, it's a 3-on-2. Rep it. You've got the space. All right, he knows where he's going. All right, so in order for this guy to make the play, he can only take certain angles. All right, and we need to know those angles. All right, we could go on and on just about this whole deal here. So I'm gonna kind of like cut it short, and hopefully you understand what I'm saying. That you got to kind of take this over and put it in your own words. Have landmarks. Use the line of scrimmage. All right, with some sort of horizontal landmark, whether it be the hash, halfway between the hash and the numbers, all right, whatever, right? One of the uprights, okay? The defender's midline and outside shoulder, the blocker's midline and backside shoulder, all right? It's, you know, just play side, shoulder, backside shoulder, all that stuff. The speed of the back, all right, sideways from, you know, these 2 points, and then ball should be in his left arm, all right? Kind of skipping through the quarterback a little bit, but all right, he's going to reverse pivot. The guard will go behind the quarterback, all right? I think depending on the speed of your players, so here he wants to try to be there. We're going to block back, all right? The center is going to block back on the backside. He's basically exchanging responsibilities, all right? He can work with the tackle on the backside. All right, again, not to kind of discredit the backside, but we've got the angles back there. It's easier to, we'll be fine with stealing leverage. We don't want to pull the tackle, pull the guard. All right, the center and the backside tackle can figure it out. All right, if the center thinks that guy's a threat, he'll stay and the tackle can pull. All right, again, I don't want to go nuts back there, but obviously, if you understand what's going on, they're easier blocks, you know. But bad things can still happen, so don't just discredit all that. All right, now, all the markers. Okay, let's wrap this up. Let's wrap it up. So we're going to be here. good fake, good handoff, and we're gonna use the quarterback to hold the backside D gap defender, or D or wider backside force defender, backside D gap defender. All right. We got to make it look like it could be the naked play. When we run the naked play, everyone's doing the exact same thing. Everything looks the same, except we're getting a crosser here, we're getting a 7 route or some sort of deep route here. We're getting the running back into the flat, okay? And it really, you're going to have the whole defense running this way thinking sweep, and then we're coming back to the hash numbers to the opposite side. So in the exact same, just in these 2 plays, we're really attacking 3 parts of the field. You know, and by 3 we mean like the entire width of the field, right? I don't even know colors wise here. All right, we're attacking over here with the sweep. All right, we're really attacking, all right, over here with, you know, the drag from the H, all right, and then whatever, I don't know. Where's my blue? Where's my blue? There's no blue. I had blue this whole is back here. All right. So, you know, whatever. That's the tight end on the 7 route. And then last one. That's it. And then we've got, remember that was the same thing on that play. Just to back to the sweep. He gonna run away from him. Whatever. That's kind of obvious, but can't block that guy. But on the naked play, right, that's where we threaten that area there, and then obviously with the belly ISO play, we threaten that area there. All right. I should really put this out here because it's really out here. And that's about it. This is the naked play. That's your 7 route, your flat route, your drag. Okay, you know, your actual quarterback here. You know, the belly ISO play, whether it's, you know, whatever. Let's just put it right in here. That's where it is. That's the point of attack. The sweep play. All right. It's a great deal, right? It's easy. It's fun. You got a lot of people running. Okay. The thing with this for me is you're not reading a defender on the snap. You're not throwing the bubbles. Okay. You're actually handing the ball off, and you're doing a little trickery back here, where, you know, 1 of 3 guys could have the ball, and, you know, on and on and on. So that's it. Good stuff. Thanks for tuning in.